went to school and ended up getting his dreads cut because they said it
Mm.
was too long or whatever.
Yeah, I
So
know what you're talking about.
they ended up suing the school because neither one of the school or them wanted to back down, and the judge ended up favoring in on behalf of the school. It happened
Yeah.
in Texas. I want to get your thoughts with just that much information, and I'll look up
Um,
names if you want me to, and give
no,
you.
it's cool because it's crazy. I kind of pulled it up a little bit, but I did read on my Instagram about the judgment. Um, and the what they call, I guess Texas has a state like a Crown Act or something like that. That makes your hair part of your dress code. Meaning, if I was a student at that school, because my hair is as long as it is right now, either I would have to cut it or I would have to find somewhere else to go. And again, bro, I think those are the things we need to be worried about. What does my hair have to do with my ability to learn and be a successful student? Why are we giving people the power to tell us what we can look like, how we can dress, how we can express ourselves? These are the things politically and non-politically, bro, that we need to be focused on. Because imagine we got kids, bro. They gonna have kids. Imagine growing up in a society where you can't express yourself, which is crazy because I was watching, I don't know, shout out Cancel Court, but there was an episode and shout out comedian CP where he expressed that. Like, even with something like this, there's you mad at the you telling this young black man that he can't express himself, which is like you said, in return, gonna have long lasting effects. Meanwhile, one of the best lawyers in the world or one of the top CEOs probably grew up wearing pink hair with gauges in his ear, fucking 3 inches big. You know what I'm saying? He done wore black fingernail paint and worshiped the devil for 10 years of his life because that's the rock music. It's like he was allowed to be himself, and in return that allowed him to be great because he has so many different experiences and so many things he can draw from, right? They trying to take that away from us on purpose, bro.
I
This
don't.
deeper than this
Man,
deeper than somebody hairstyle, bro. I think we got to start scratching the surface. Is one thing. When we start breaking the glass, you're gonna start realizing people, not you, but when I say you, I'm talking to just the viewers or just anybody in general who cares enough to listen. Like, you start to realize, like, why would you feel the need to make a law like that? What does hair length have to do with the level of education that I'm receiving? What type of teachers I'm learning from? Do you even care about what you are? You really trying to make sure I'm learning something? I'm doing my homework. I'm getting my grades. What my hair look like shouldn't matter.
now
It's just
listen.
it's control on a whole nother level. Me personally, I would never put my child in a school district like that. I would never attend a school like that. I didn't like the fact that my daughter had to wear a uniform.
Okay.
My daughter is very expressive with the way that she dresses, and as a 6 year old, she's very creative with and she dresses herself. Like, I think in 2 school years, she's had like one bad outfit day where I'm like, girl, and she like, but this what I want to wear, and I'm like, this don't even match. Like, it don't even go together. She like, I don't care. Cool, and she has confidence to do that because she can express herself. This young man may be damaged from that. You know what I'm saying? Even in professions,
he may be, and
it could be.
sometimes now listen,
It could create anger. It could
I'll
create
say I'll
frustration.
say this. I'll say this. A lot of times the people around you are more attached to the situation than you are, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know his age or whatever, but somebody
Um,
around him got, like, even if he, let's say he did feel a certain way,
yeah.
somebody around him was able to verbalize his feelings in the sense of it. I mean, in a way that made sense to kind of challenge the ruling or whatever. Not even the judgment, but the ruling, the school book ruling. Right now, here's my thing, and I might be a theorist in this aspect or whatever.
Yeah. Junior in high school, by the way.
Okay, so he a junior in high school when it happened, or a sophomore when it
As
happened.
of now.
Okay, so he
As
was
of now.
probably a sophomore when it happened, maybe, if
Yeah.
I got my dates correctly. But if that's a private school, let's say it is. I don't know. Is it a public school or private school?
It doesn't say. It just says Barber Hills Independent School District. So I think it's just the area, like maybe the town district that he's in. That's just a rule that exists for that school district for whatever random ass reason.
Okay, so
Because it's not a
all right,
national thing. I've
so
never
that
heard of
let's
this
say let's
until
say
now.
let's say that isolated incident or whatever.
Okay.
But there are schools with rule books
Mhm.
just like this, right? That may have things in there that we disagree with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hear me out. A while ago, as when we was kind of growing up, they had this thing called choice. Now, this is the theorist in me, like so, or
Yeah.
it's not nothing factual, but it's something to think about. So they had the choice program. I ain't gonna say nothing
Mhm.
factual, some things factual, but they had the
Yeah.
choice program going growing up, and you had to wait to be accepted. Like the older I got, the easier it seemed for these kids to start getting into these schools or whatever.
Mhm.
But then the schools we was going to seemed to like fall by the wayside. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they pulling this out. They were pulling out programs when we were in the school, but now
Mhm.
these programs is absolutely non-existent. You know what I'm saying? The teachers complaining, the environment is horrible, it's cold, all this stuff. But then you got people that like when we was younger, we were these
Mhm.
students. As we grew up, we became these parents that became the parents that brag about how good this choice school or this private school is, right? Not
Mhm.
saying everybody, but a good majority. You know what I'm saying? They start pulling their kids out of public schools and saying, "Oh, this school over here is better for my child, better education." Woo, 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 woo. Now, I done talked to people who done well, okay, to continue with that, this school over here is better, whatever.
Mhm.
They're so they get money based on the students that enroll into their school. Now, if it's choice students, it's government issued. If it's um neighborhood students or whatever, then it's most likely tuition. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So like they're a private entity, so they get tuition based on the students. So just like public schools or whatever. Public schools
Yeah.
probably don't get as much, but they get money based on these students or whatever. So these schools, as of like when we graduated up until we
Yeah.
became this, like we start having kids. So like let's say 20 years, which is a generation that you
Mhm.
taught me or whatever. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you told me that.
Okay, well I'll remember
Yeah.
this on the knowledge exchange. Shout out to knowledge exchange. But so 20 years, which is considered a generation. So a generation
Mhm.
later, these choice schools that we grew up having to wait to get in got these big facilities or these or a better education or a better system or better way of doing things and all this. And
Mhm.
we're looking like, man, I want my kids to go to that school. We're bragging about it and stuff. And we don't look at the fact that NPS or the public school hasn't gone anywhere over 20 years except downhill, fam. So when I look at
Yeah.
the balance, I try to this is the theorist part. I think
Yeah.
the most of that money from students being enrolled in public schools end up going to these choice schools, enabling them to say, I mean, enabling them to like build better facilities and have better resources and all this, which in turn gives them the attitude and the power to put these handbooks together, knowing that oh, we got these choice students coming over here now. Most of them is like poverty. I ain't gonna say most of them are in poverty, or some of them are experiencing poverty. Let's not say most,
Yeah.
but some may be experiencing poverty. Some may have learning disabilities. Some may have certain things going on with them, behavior issues, whatever. You know what I'm saying? No discrimination, but these
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
the facts, right? We got to put certain things into this handbook that protects us so we can be able to say at any point, yo, if he don't cut his hair, he got to go out. I'm not saying he a bad student or nothing. He could be getting A's, honor roll student, and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Seems like that was the case.
You know what I'm saying? But because of their sense of entitlement, because of
Mhm,
them knowing the state and the condition of public schools,
mhm,
they can try to pull or try to have a little leverage in saying, "Hey, you know what? All right, girls got to wear dresses, boys got to wear pants, no exceptions.
right.
Fridays you can wear jeans, only if you got this team or only if you got the school shirt on, right?" It gives them
Mhm,
a sense of entitlement because, in my opinion, the money has shifted from these public schools to private entities who are most likely protected from the governing of what MPS may have to go through, the governing body that MPS has to go through, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like
yeah.
they don't really got to answer the state law. Well, I don't want to say because I don't really know, but they answer to different boards or whatever.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? So like that's my analysis of the whole haircutting situation. Personally, I felt like I used to have dreads. I cut mine based on some police activity. So like I
yeah.
understand like the pressure you may feel if you like feel judged. I don't know if he probably went to an
Mhm,
all white school. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't no telling, man. I don't know. I haven't interviewed the guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I can
Yeah. No, I get
speculate as
it.
much as I want, but that's just my opinion, bro. I feel like, hey man, we gave them the power, a generation of decisions
Yeah.
gave them the power to write these handbooks.
I don't think a law like that should ever have even been created. Now, one thing as far as like maybe a dress code, you know, maybe I can see that because remember in high school we couldn't wear the band of snowman shirts,
Yeah,
and that was a public school. You know what
and
I'm?
they
Well,
banned that
these
across
were
the
public schools.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You couldn't wear the old school Jeezy shirts and stuff like that,
Certain
even though
books
people were still
and
doing it.
book bags and certain things, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like your appearance though.
But
Even what
these
I'm wearing
schools, but
shouldn't
these
really
schools be
matter.
trying to like so like I don't know if that's like I said, I don't know if it's a private school, but a lot of private schools that I've encountered or whatever, they have
Mhm.
like like I said, it's based on like that generation gap or whatever. You don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these
Yeah.
schools new to the territory and their handbook is outdated. And according to
Mhm.
their outdated handbook, you got to have a military cut. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Choir board cut. You get what I'm saying?